Hey everybody, welcome back to Rewind GenX podcast with Matt and Allie. Matt.
And I'm Allie.
And today, if you couldn't tell by our placement in front of our Indiana Jones display, my Indiana Jones hat and shirt, today we are doing another Indiana Jones movie, the first Indiana Jones movie to ever come out, 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Later on retitled Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
So we did already do Temple of Doom, as I think it was actually the second movie we dropped. It was the third one we actually filmed, but the second that we dropped. Yeah.
Because he wanted to do Raiders first, but I wanted to do it chronologically. So
correct. So I was totally fine with. I have no problem with that. I think when I showed them to you originally when you were little, I did show them to you chronologically. And I figured if you could handle Temple of Doom, you could probably handle the other two, no problem, because that's the scariest. So
yeah.
And you were fine with all of them, so because you're my kid. Anyway, so yes, we love this movie. It is, in my opinion, possibly the greatest action adventure film ever made. And I think it was actually nominated for an Academy Award.
Was it?
Yeah, the only one that was. I think it was nominated for Best Picture. I think it might be in the fun facts. So, but yeah, it's the only one that was, though. And it is critically, and I mentioned this on the last podcast, it is critically the best Indiana Jones film, and I would agree with that. It's just not my personal favorite. It's a close second to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which there's the poster for that right there. That's my personal favorite. I just love the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery as father and son, and I love that they're going for the Holy Grail as well.
Should I do it for old time's sake?
Go ahead.
Who's Sean Connery?
She knows who it is now.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. You want to show a quick snippet of the trailer? Yeah.
Jones, you're a man of many talents.
The Ark. It is something that man was not meant to disturb.
An army which carries the Ark before it is invincible.
Indiana
Jones! Let her go.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? I'm going after that truck. Oh, I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. Trust me.
So there you go. That was a little piece of the trailer from Raiders of the Lost Ark. We'll go ahead and get into our grades.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go with an A-. I think this is a solid movie. I love the action, like the different layers. You know, there's some romance. There's, I wouldn't say it's much of a comedy, but there's still some like elements in there. You know, it's not like a serious movie. And yeah, it's just an overall good. It's like obviously not perfect. There's something that I would like. I definitely think I like loved it more when I was little, just because it seemed like way cooler. Not that it's not cool. It's just like when you're younger, I guess everything is like you're less critical. So, but yeah, solid A-.
Here's a little memento from that. That is the fertility idol that he goes for in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah, that's actually a woman squatting like she's giving birth. Not a very pretty woman, but...
There's the baby.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's a baby popping out.
That's
See?
pretty weird, but all right.
Yeah, it is a little weird, isn't it? Yeah, but there you go. There you have it. That's what that is. So...
Anyways.
Yeah, anyway.
What are your grades?
Moi, I give it an A+.
Okay.
It's an A+ movie. And I know I said I liked Last Crusade better, but it's also an A+, obviously. It's like an A++ if you can. But no, they're both A+ movies. I just happen to prefer the other one a little bit more. In fact, I would say this is critically better than Last Crusade. Although, as it was so lovingly, or maybe not so lovingly, pointed out on The Big Bang Theory by Sheldon's girlfriend, Amy, I believe is the character. It's a little bit of a problem. And I think the episode's called Amy Ruins Raiders of the Lost Ark or something.
Is that really the name of the episode?
Yeah, I think it's called
yeah.
Amy Ruins Raiders or something. Yeah, or something like that.
But she really does. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in the episode, I just got to share it. I'd show a clip, and then I'm sure we'll get flagged and have. I don't want to get flagged, so we won't show a clip. But so the character Sheldon is obsessed with all things sci-fi and fantasy, and Indiana Jones obviously falls into that category. And he shows his girlfriend Amy the movie, and she's like, "Well, it was a very good movie, and I'm glad I got to share that with you." And she said, except for the one glaring flaw, of course. And he says, "What are you talking about? There's no flaw."
Yeah.
She says, "Well, if Indiana Jones's character had never gotten involved at all, it would have ended exactly the same."
Yeah.
And she's right. I mean, except for the only difference is instead of the Ark being shipped
left on an island.
Yeah, it would have been left on an island instead of shipped back to the United States and thrown into a warehouse. But
right.
yeah, besides, she's right though, because and you could argue, well, but they weren't looking at the Nazis weren't digging in the right place.
But they would have.
But they would have if he would have. And the other difference is he would have killed Marion to get he got
right.
the headpiece of the staff of Ra. He would have probably killed Marion and just taken it, and then they would have, of course, the right information and found the Ark. So yeah, she did kind of kill it for that. I don't know. I wonder if Steven Spielberg and Lawrence Kasdan, I think I'm saying his name wrong, but yeah, Lawrence Kasdan, he co-wrote it with. The story was by George Lucas,
mm-hmm.
But I think Lucas wrote the screenplay with Lawrence Kasdan. I think I'm not saying his name right. I wonder if they ever thought about that when they wrote it. Like, hey, wait a minute. Or maybe it didn't occur to them. I don't know, but I don't care. It's still an amazing movie. It is a quintessential action adventure film, and it's so good.
Quintessential. That's a big word. What does that mean?
It means like the quintessential action is like it stands as a perfect example. Like the quintessential means like the perfect example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I'm gonna start using that. It sounds very like intellectual.
Anyway, so yeah, no one's ever mistaken me for being an intellectual, but thanks anyway. So we'll do a very quick casting call because we did most of these. Well, actually that's not true. We did Harrison Ford, but when we did Temple of Doom, but yeah, we'll keep it quick. We try to keep casting call quick these days. So here we go, casting call.
We also did Harrison Ford when we did New Hope.
We certainly did. So we're going to go ahead and skip over Harrison. Everyone knows who he is. I'll just list a few of the big ones. Star Wars movies, Blade Runner, Air Force One, Mosquito Coast, and of course the Indiana Jones sagas. He's still working today. He's one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, period. End of story. Karen Allen as Marion. And she was wonderful in this. I think she's great. And
I remember one of my biggest things about the female character in the last movie was that like she was so helpless. She didn't do anything. Like I think it was because I was really reflecting her or comparing her to Marion because I liked Marion so much.
They're very different. Yeah. And and I have to say, like, her character is believably badass. Like a lot of these female characters in today's action genre are a little unbelievable. They're doing kung fu and they're kicking the butts of a million guys. Like,
and why is that unbelievable?
Because some of
these women are like just like thrown out there. Most of them are like trained, like Scarlett Johansson. It's like some people say like it's crazy. She like kicks these guys' butts like in a row, but she was trained as like a Russian weapon since the day she was born. Like that's not unbelievable. Like a lot of the time these superheroes are built that way. It's not like it's unbelievable that they're like superheroes.
Listen,
like,
don't get me wrong. There are a handful of women out there that could probably kick my butt. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, and many of the, probably all of the female mixed martial artists could definitely give me a whooping hands down. But women are just built differently than men. They are not as physically strong as men, and so are there women who could definitely kick some butt? Yeah, but like kick a bunch of guys' butts in a row, like that's fantasy. I mean, it's fantasy to think one guy can kick a bunch of other dudes' butts in a row. That's also a stretch, and so, but
Yeah.
it's the movies, it's just far-fetched, and it's fine. But again, her character is very believably tough. Like, she's
And I
just her
like it.
attitude, her
I
persona.
like that a lot of her strength is not so much physical, it's also
Yeah, she's smart.
it's like emotional and intellectual.
Yeah.
I think like you can make the argument like, oh well, Marion is obviously like gonna be like stronger, more badass because her dad, but like what, her dad was a professor. How does that make her any more advantages than
No, it's,
like
it's
the
her.
other lady? No, yeah.
It's the way she was brought up and raised, and she's on her own, and she's running this tavern in the middle of Nepal. I mean, like, you got to be tough to do that, know. And like when that guy's chasing her and she grabs the frying pan, I mean, she doesn't just like stand in front of him like let's go. No, she runs into like a dark place, and when the guy runs in after her, she hides and bangs him on the head and knocks him out, and then drags his body in. Like, she's clever. She's very clever.
Yeah.
But you're right. She wasn't like Willie Scott in Temple of Doom, where she just stands there and screams like a helpless waif.
Yeah.
No, she's pretty tough. She's pretty awesome. So, and she's a great female heroine.
Yep.
So I'm glad they brought her back in the last two films, even though they weren't.
I am no man.
Yeah, that's a heroine right there. Heroine. But she's a heroine named Heroine.
Her name is Heroine. Yeah.
Heroine the heroine.
All right.
Okay.
Just go to the
All right. Karen Allen. She was in Animal House, National Lampoon's Animal House. She was in Manhattan. Very small part in Manhattan, but Animal House, she had a pretty decent role. The Wanderer, she was in Cruising, and she was in, of course, Raiders and the last two indie films. She was in Scrooge. She was the female lead in Scrooge, opposite Bill Murray. She was in Malcolm X, The Sandlot, King of the Hill, Ghost in the Machine. So she's in a lot of stuff. The Perfect Storm. She's been working ever since the 70s, and she's still working today.
Is she?
And yeah, she's quite lovely. Well, she was just in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Well, yeah, but I thought that was like a special thing, kind of.
Well, it was, but before that, she was in something in 2012, 21, 19, 16. So she's still working. She's not like cranking them out, but like she's doing stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure. And we all love Marion Ravenwood, so we all love Karen Allen. Paul Freeman as Renee Belloc, and I think we can go ahead and tell the audience that we kind of already
we kind of mentioned
who's our MVP. And I don't think we haven't done an MVP for a minute, have we?
No.
But this one deserves an MVP, and we both picked Paul Freeman as Renee Belloc. He was a wonderful villain, and I remember when my brother came on to do Die Hard, he spoke about how Hans Gruber was such a nuanced villain, and I would say the same about Renee Belloc.
Yeah, I think like what I said in the car kind of was like, I love him because he's not like just pure evil. He has motives that you can understand. You feel for him. You kind of it's so easy to hate a villain, but it's not easy to dislike this character. It's
Yeah. So besides this, he was also in he was super villain Ivan Ooze in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. He was Morlang. He was in the movie When I'm 64. I'm assuming that's named after the Beatles song, When I'm 64. He was in Hot Fuzz. He was in Hard Boiled Sweets. And he had a leading role on a television series called Yesterday's Dreams. So he hasn't done a ton. He does a lot of theater acting and like Shakespeare.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's a Shakespearean actor, and he's wonderful in this. We both loved him, and we both agree that he is the MVP. Because when he makes like the comment about it would just take a little nudge to put you
in the same
out of the
spot
light,
as I am.
and you had mentioned to me when we did Temple of Doom you saw that. Indiana
I
Jones is
remember, 'cause I
not
always
in that
speak about
movie.
I love a character arc, and I loved
Yeah.
Andy's character arc in that movie because in the
Yeah.
beginning we talked about he was all fortune and glory,
Fortune and Glory, yeah.
and at the end he really did not care anymore about the
Fortune and Glory.
fortune and glory. He wanted to save the kids. That was like the main goal.
Yeah, the village was more important to him than the fortune and glory. And so yeah, he did have a real character arc. He had a very big transition.
And of course, Indy got his way in the end. He still got.
Oh, because he's Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that, and I think that I like that that's like a prequel to this movie because it shows like he really was like Belloc, and now he's different, and now like.
And I know I mentioned when we did Temple of Doom, but I'm a huge fan of the original books. They're not like the greatest literature ever, but they're fun stories. And in the last couple of books, they're like prequels to the movies. They take place from like in the first book, he's graduating college, and he goes on anyway. But then the last book and the Secret of the Sphinx. And even the book before that, he's really kind of like turning a little bit into that almost nefarious, not nefarious, but like he's kind of, his character is getting a little slightly corrupted. He's becoming a little more like a Belloc and a little less like an Indy. And they're kind of showing you that transition and the things that happen to make it, why he's kind of transitioning that way. So they're very, if you like reading,
it's very strategic, I'm sure.
Yeah, I recommend the books for sure. I absolutely thoroughly enjoy them. They're some of my favorites. And again, they're not like the greatest writing ever. In fact, there's a dozen books and they're all written by 3 different authors. The first guy wrote 6, and then the next guy wrote 2, and then the last guy wrote 4. But they're all fun. I enjoy them all, and I'm actually rereading them again. I'm already on book 2. So yeah, it's like the 5th time around I'm reading these books. So it's kind of like books to me are a lot like movies. If I really enjoy something, I'm gonna watch it again and again. And same with a good book. If I really enjoyed it,
I have
I'll
my comfort movies that I've watched,
and I have my comfort books. Lord of the Rings are comfort books, and Indiana Jones.
I don't know how that can be a comfort book. That's terribly long.
Well, to be fair, I mean, when I reread them, the Lord of the Rings books, like I'll skip over like the long songs or the long paragraphs.
Songs?
And like there'll be songs in there, and there'll be like a bunch of writing in Elvish or Dwarvish, and I'm like, I gotta skip over that, because the first time I read them, of course I read everything, but sometimes I'll just skip over that kind of stuff. But they're definitely comfort books for sure.
Okay, but
I will say, I just want to throw it out there. My favorite comfort books of all time, written by probably my favorite living writer, which is Joe Abercrombie, and he has this series called The First Law. He has another trilogy of like young adult books, which are also amazing, and I love those, and I've read those like 3 times over. Called Half a King, Half a War, and Half a something else. I can't remember. But anyway, his First Law series is just amazing, and those are huge comfort books for me. I've read them again and again and again, and recommend them to like everybody I know that likes to read. So shout out to Joe Abercrombie. I love your work. I can't wait for them to start making some movies based on it. It's just been far too long. People out there, Hollywood, Joe Abercrombie, First Law series, get on it already.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Indy.
But are we going to do those 3? I would.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry, honey. Yeah. Me and my rants.
It's okay.
Go off on.
But,
no,
we can touch on a couple.
Yeah, we'll do John Rhys Davies as Sala. And of course, you were so surprised to learn that his other claim to fame was as Gimli, the dwarf, and the Lord of the Rings, what we were just talking about. But in addition to that, he was in the film Sahara in 1983. There's another Sahara early 2000s, but he was in The Living Daylights, which is a James Bond film. He was in Glory Days, The Medallion, One Night with the King, and Sinbad Beyond the Veil of Mists, and SpongeBob SquarePants movies. And so anyway, he's wonderful. He also starred as Marco in I, Claudius, and he was also in the original Shogun TV series. And I, Claudius, are you familiar with I, Claudius? You should be, because we use it every single time we do our podcast.
I, Claudius? What is that?
It's holding up. It's propping up our iPad right now.
Is it really?
I always prop up our iPad with my iClaudius DVD collection because it's a perfect height.
What is this?
It's about like the Roman Empire and the Emperor Claudius in particular, but it goes through like a few different of the emperors, and Claudius is like through it. He's there through most of it, but then he eventually becomes emperor as well.
You just exposed my pajama pants.
Oh, my apologies.
It's okay.
So yeah,
It's like business casual.
I love history, and I love that kind of stuff.
I like history when it's made fun. I like learning about history.
Yeah, that's fun. It's a great miniseries. Yeah, I mean it's from the like 70s, but it's still really good. Great actors. The Patrick Stewart from Star Trek is in that. A bunch of great actors you probably know. You're like, oh, really, that guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's John Rhys Davies, and then we'll go ahead and just throw an honorable mention to the gentleman Ronald Lacey, who played Major Arnold Todt, the sadistic Gestapo agent.
Is that the one who got the hand burned, or no?
No, that would be Wolf Kyler as Colonel Dietrich. I think, or maybe I'm getting them confused.
I don't know.
And Anthony Higgins is. No, that's not him. Let's see. Okay, so no, Ronald Lacey is not the guy who burns his hand. That would be the one I had it right. Wolf Collar. Yeah, he's the one who got his hand burned. And but none of them are really. No one's going to know anything these actors have done. So
yeah.
So and then Denholm Elliott played Marcus Brody, and he's we all know him from the Indiana Jones series. He's been working since the 60s, but he pretty much we're going to know him from that. And no one's going to know any of the other stuff. It's all British stuff, and it's not really worth getting into. It's just going to kind of bore everybody. So nothing against the actor. He's terrific. We love him. But anyway, so there you go. That was our casting call. And sorry, I'm getting a little sweaty, but I want to wear my indie hat.
It's like TMI. It's like they need to know.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Now you're up, kid. Let's do the synopsis.
My turn.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the story. In 1936, American archaeologist Indiana Jones recovers a golden idol from a booby-trapped Peruvian temple. Rival archaeologist Rene Belloc corners him and steals the idol. Jones escapes in a waiting float plane. Oh, the
float
plane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I want to know, does he ever get it back? No, does he?
The fertility idol? Not that we know of. No.
Dang, that sucks.
He'll live.
But after returning to the United States, Jones is briefed by 2 Army intelligence agents that Nazi German forces are excavating at Tanis, Egypt. And I love seeing Jones in as a professor.
Yeah. And I have to share. I love my indie Funkos, and this is a cool one. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Funko's getting a free advertisement there. That one's so great, and that's the opening scene. That's such a iconic sequence in the opening scene. If you've ever been to
Disney, I was just
yes,
about to say.
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
They have the performance there, and it's really cool.
They do indeed. And then here is Professor Jones, as you were mentioning.
Yeah,
we should have put him up here for the show, but that's okay. So continue.
But yeah, Harrison Ford looks best when he's in that outfit, in my opinion.
The professor outfit?
Yeah.
I guess that's why all his female students are fawning over him.
I love that girl, right? It's
love
you on her eyelids.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all in love with him.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And he as glasses missed, and you have 50 notes on his desks, all from these girls.
Yeah.
It's funny.
If he was your professor in college, would you be in love with him too?
I don't know about in love. Maybe he's cute, but he's kind of an old man.
Yeah. I guess for a college age girl, 36 is pretty old. Yeah. That makes sense.
It says he's 36.
It doesn't actually. I think his character is 37.
Really?
Yeah, the actor was probably about 40 when he did it, or maybe he was that age. But no, because I believe the character was born in 1999, and it takes place in
1899.
1899, sorry, and the movie takes place in 1936. So he's 36 in Temple of Doom and 37 in Raiders.
Wow.
And then the other movie takes place 2 years later, so he's supposed to be 39 in Last Crusade, but I think he was around 45 when he filmed it.
Got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of old manny.
Mhm.
But anyways, so that Nazi German forces are excavating at Tanis, Egypt, and one of their telegrams mentions Jones' former mentor, Abner Ravenwood. So he deduces that the Nazis are seeking the Ark of the Covenant, which Adolf Hitler believes will render their army invincible. The agents then recruit Jones to recover the Ark first. So I always thought it was like, I kind of wondered why they chose Nazis and Hitler to be the enemies, or I don't know, they kind of made up this fact, and I don't know if it was a real thing, but they were Mr. Hitler has a fascination with
I think there's some truth to that.
Ancient relics.
I think
is there
there's
really?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah.
Was that really a thing where they were finding things to make the army?
I think there is some evidence that Hitler was indeed obsessed with the occult and was having his people go after certain religious.
Gotcha. Because I didn't know if that was a thing for this movie. They just
No, I think there's some facts behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
At a bar in Nepal, Jones reunites with Abner's daughter Marion, with whom he once had an illicit relationship.
This is scandalous.
And learns that Abner is dead. And I was pretty weirded out when I realized their age gap.
Yeah.
Because it's not even 2 adults. It's in a full-grown adult and a teenager.
Yeah, they say she's supposed to be around 15 or 16 when they had, and he was 25. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Really weird.
That's illegal. So
no wonder her dad was pissed.
Yeah, that's why they had the falling out. Yeah, him and her father. Yeah. I was a child. I was young. I was a child. You know what you were doing. Oh boy.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was a different time frame. It was late 20s.
No, even then it was 20s, weird.
But probably. I mean, I didn't live back then, but probably.
It's not they were still sending girls off to get married at 14. No.
They were in certain states still, probably, but it's still weird. Yeah, even in the 20s, there's
maybe
probably
the gypsies were
I mean, I think in certain countries and even in America in certain states, that was still a thing. Yeah. But I digress. It's to us is definitely a little weird, and probably even I think they even in the movie, it's supposed to be a little inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it says an illicit relationship.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. Yeah.
The bar is set ablaze during a scuffle with Gestapo agent Arnold Todt. I guess that's the guy who burns his hand.
I'll say this: you're 16 years old. If I found out a 25-year-old man was trying to seduce you, I might go to jail.
Yeah, I'm 16. I don't want to get married anytime soon. That sounds.
Yeah. So Indy, you're a bad boy, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah. To continue, the bar is set ablaze during a scuffle with Gestapo agent Arnold Todt, who arrived to take a medallion from Marion. Todt attempts to recover the medallion from the flames, but only burns its image into his hands. Mm-hmm. Jones and Marion take the medallion and escape. They travel to Cairo, and the pair meets Jones's friend Salah, who reveals that Belloc is assisting the Nazis, and that they have fashioned an incomplete replica medallion from the burns on Todt's hand. But we actually don't figure that out. I mean, they don't actually tell us that.
Salah.
We figure it out. So they say oh, they got a replica, but only of one side, and they don't really tell us why. You're kind of supposed to figure it out, which I didn't figure it out. You had to tell me. But yeah, it is from the burnings, and that's why they were digging incorrectly. Yeah. Because Nazi soldiers and mercenaries attack Jones, and Marion is seemingly killed, leaving him despondent. Despondent.
Yeah.
And Imam deciphers the medallion.
You know what despondent means?
Sad?
Yes, exactly.
Why do they have to use such big words?
I don't know.
And Imam deciphers the medallion, revealing that one side bears a warning against disturbing the Ark, and the other completes the measurements for the Staff of Ra, which, when combined with the medallion, is used to locate the Ark. Jones and Salah realize that the Nazis are digging in the wrong location, because only one side says, hey, dig 6 It's like a measurement. I don't
Yeah.
know how much it is.
Yeah.
6
don't-
imams or something.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. If it's not absolutely accurate, yeah.
Imams.
Yeah.
And then the other side says leave 1 for the Hebrew God, right? Which makes 5.
Yeah.
But the Nazis only have 1 side, so
They're digging in the wrong place.
yep. So they use a medallion and a correctly sized staff of Ra to locate the Well of Souls, the Ark's resting place.
Yeah.
So I love the scene with the whole like Indy going down and getting the Ark and like snakes. It had to be snakes because it's always snakes with Indy. Like it's
I'm with you, bro. I'm not a big fan either.
yeah. I mean, I know what he is, but you never
Yeah.
expect like Indy. Like that's his one weakness, and it's always there. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. But
I love in The Last Crusade when they had the flashback in the beginning to when he's a
when he's
teenager,
a boy and
you find out why.
he's afraid of snakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
So they recover the Ark, a golden, intricately decorated chest, but Belloc and the Nazis discover them and seize it. Jones and Marion, whom Belloc has been holding captive, are sealed inside. Jeez, do you have everything?
Everything I can get my hands on. Yeah,
my
I'd grab
God.
Marion, but she's too far down, and the villain from this movie too. But I don't think I can reach.
Whatever. But I liked how Marion tried to like outdrink Belloc when he was like
And they say in the fun facts like it wasn't even scripted, which I find very difficult to believe because it's such an amazing throwback. But I love how they have in the bar in Nepal, she's having the drinking contest with the guy,
yeah.
and she wins. So now you know that she can really hold her liquor and she can drink somebody under the table.
Yeah.
And then she uses that same gift later on to basically trick Belloc into almost escaping.
Yeah.
That's a great throwback. And they said that they improvised that whole thing, that whole scene, which I don't know if I believe that or not. Not everything in those trivia is accurate, but
Yeah.
if that is true, like kudos to the actors for even coming up with that and having that amazing throwback.
Right. Why did they get interrupted again? Why couldn't they?
Well, she was escaping, and then when she turned around, the other villain, not Belloc, but the Nazi in the black uniform, this guy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and grab him anyway.
You're going for it.
I'm going for it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think people who watch this already know that I have no shame. So this guy shows up, and I love the scene where he pulls out the coat hanger, but it looks like it's like nunchucks or something, and he pulls them out, and you're like, yeah, and then he just wants to be the coat hanger for his coat. Yeah, it's a very, very cute scene, very funny. So anyway, yeah.
But where was I? Jones and Marion are sealed inside the well, but they escape because he's Indy and he's always gonna find a way to escape.
Yeah.
And Jones captures a truck carrying the Ark. I feel like we skipped a whole step. Wasn't there like the whole fight with the plane?
Yeah. They just, the synopsises aren't always
that was like a
terribly
cool part.
detailed. Yeah, and I think it's already, and I think I mentioned it in Temple of Doom also.
Probably did.
But they have the same actor who he plays a big German guy that Indy fights in this. He's also the big Indian head tribe leader or whatever that he fights in Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
And then he also has a fight scene with this guy in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. But it was removed. It was deleted from the scene. It was on the Zeppelin when they go on the Zeppelin. He has a fight scene with this guy.
But I like the fact that like Indy like wins not because he's bigger, because he's not bigger, or because he's stronger, but because he's just like
he got lucky.
Smarter, I guess.
He got lucky.
But also like
well, he just he saw that the blade was coming, and so the only thing he had to do was not warn the dude.
Yeah.
He just covered his face so he didn't get splashed with blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was I like the scene.
Yeah, and I do like I said the realism of that. Like I said, Marion's a badass, but she's not like ridiculously badass. It's not unrealistic where she's just beating up dudes left and right. And like no. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Like there is a time when like that's appropriate. Like again, I mentioned Gina Carano earlier, and if you watch her in The Mandalorian, and she's actually a little beefier on that
you
too.
Did mention that?
No, I mentioned her earlier, but I said I'm sure her and Ronda Rousey could kick my butt. It's not to say like every man can beat up every woman. That's not the case. But just generally we are physically stronger, just naturally. But yeah, like Gina Carano, when I see her character in The Mandalorian kicking people's butts, it feels very realistic because she is looks tough. She you can tell she's a real fighter in those fight scenes, and she is a real fighter. And yeah, so like it's believable. It's believable. And then as much as I love the Marvel movies and I see Black Widow, kicking, beating 20 guys up at once, it doesn't feel, I mean, I'm enjoying myself watching it. I'm not sitting here going, oh, this is BS. But at the same time, I'm not really believing it either. You know what I'm saying?
She's professionally trained.
Yeah. Yes. I suspend reality to enjoy the film.
It's not
but
reality,
I know
it's fantasy. It's not supposed to be
yeah,
real.
Exactly. But like I said, I believe Gina Carano could totally beat up a couple of dudes. I don't believe Scarlett Johansson can beat up 20 guys.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm
it's
saying?
not Scarlett Johansson. It's Black Widow.
I know. I get it. All right. Well, let's not get into semantics. You know what I'm saying.
I'm just mad because I'm wrong. I mean, because I'm right.
Okay. Whatever you say, honey. So, go on.
Alongside Marion, Jones arranges to transport the Ark to London aboard a tramp steamer.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What's a
tramp steamer. Like tramp is like a bum. Like a tramp is like a bum or a homeless person, like somebody who's like in shack, like rags. Well, they call this a tramp steamer because it's like all beat up and old, and so they call it a tramp steamer. But no, what I was saying is, I mentioned just like Marion is believable. Indiana Jones, who, yes, he's an action adventure hero, and sometimes he wins the fight, but not every time. And I like that. Like sometimes he doesn't win the fight. Sometimes he's getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked, it just reminds me real quick of a more modern movie that The Expendables, right? The first Expendables movie with all the tough guys from the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and Bruce Willis. And Stallone, who's like the main guy in it. And usually in all his movies, he kicks everybody's butt. But in this one, he's fighting a character played by Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's a big, big dude. And in the movie, he's getting his butt handed to him, and like he has to get saved by one of his buddies. Like, and when his other buddy says, "Hey, where were you? Or what were you doing?" He goes, "Getting my butt kicked." Like, like I like that. Make it a little bit realistic. These guys can't beat everybody up. Like there's always going to be someone tougher, and so sometimes you got to be clever. Or lucky. And Indy sometimes is both of those things. Sometimes he's clever, sometimes he's lucky, and sometimes he wins the fight too.
Yeah. A German U-boat intercepts them, seizing the Ark and Marion. Jones covertly boards the U-boat. The vessel travels to an island in the Aegean.
Yeah, the Aegean Sea.
Aegean Sea, where Belloc intends to test the power of the Ark before presenting it to Hitler. And I do like that line. He's like, the German's like, "Are you sure we have to do this here?" And Belloc's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to go to Berlin and open it in front of your Führer?" And we're like, "It doesn't work." And he's like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah, Belloc's great. He's really a good character. Very clever. Very believable.
Yeah. On the island, Jones ambushes the Nazi group and threatens to destroy the Ark, but surrenders after Belloc deduces that he would never destroy something so historically significant, also surmising that Jones wants to know if the Ark's power is real.
Yeah.
I think that scene is very important, I guess, because it shows, like, I don't know, I think, like, because he's trying to save Marion, but he can't bring himself to destroy the Ark.
Yeah.
So, like, not like what does it say about Indy, but like kind of what does it say, like he does have a very deep love for this history and these artifacts and
that. And also, but you have to understand, like, Indy realizes they call it his bluff. Basically, they call it his bluff because Indy knows even if he destroys the Ark, he's got no more chips on the table. Like, like he's still not gonna save Marion. Like, they're gonna get him. Because now that's it. That was the only, card he had to play. And when they didn't feed into it, they called his bluff. He knew, like, all right, I may as well, why would I destroy the Ark when either way, I'm not going to save her. So he figured maybe if I just, give up, I'll come up with something later,
Yeah.
And he doesn't, technically come up with something later.
It just works out.
He gets lucky again. Yeah, which you'll get to.
So yeah, I mean, they call his bluff, and he so the Nazis restrain Jones and Marion at the testing site as Belloc ceremonially opens the Ark, but finds only sand inside. At Jones's instruction, he and Marion close their eyes to avoid looking at the opened Ark, as it releases spirits, flames, and bolts of energy that kill Belloc and the assembled Nazis before sealing itself shut. Jones and Marion open their eyes to find the area cleared of bodies and their bindings removed. And my thing was, like, after this, like, how did they, like, get back to the United States?
Yeah.
Who did they call? They had no phones. Like, there was, like, the Nazis were all dead. They had maybe the U-boat, but, like...
There's still probably Nazis on the U-boat.
Exactly. Like, how did they...
You know what? The more I think about this, especially the end of this movie, the more I think maybe Last Crusade is a better movie. Not that I don't just like it better. I think it might be actually better. Because, I mean, Indy doesn't really get lucky in that one all that much. I mean, when he at the end of it, and we'll of course review that movie eventually, but like he either uses his courage or his wits to get through everything. You know, he has like the 3 tests, and then he like everything is like, you know, nothing's left to chance. Everything is all him.
Everything is him.
Yeah.
It's
much more emotional with the father-son dynamic and the father dying and
Stop.
So he's dying anyway. But and yeah, I mean, like, and then the resolution is not the kind of resolution that all would have worked out the same even if he wasn't there. Like, no, not even close.
But I was like, okay, like great, Indy was there, like to take it back, but like again, like
how they get off the island? Yeah.
How did he like contact the U.S.? Like.
Yeah,
just like
that's a great because this is 1936. It's not you just pick up his cell phone.
Gonna, like,
see if I have any bars on my phone.
This huge ark and carry it to the boat, like
and the boat that's filled with Nazis.
Exactly.
Yeah, like how's he getting home? Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah,
and also I don't know, maybe this is stupid, but like. Well, I don't know how visa laws work. I don't know how immigration was, but like Marion's been in Nepal for like years and years, and all of a sudden she's just like back in the U.S. like normal.
Well, she's a U.S. citizen, so yeah, that should be fine.
Really?
Yeah. Once you're a citizen, that's fine. I could go live in Peru for 20 years. I'm still coming back to the United States whenever I want. I'm a natural born citizen.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem. But you're right. Like, how'd they get back? They don't explain it.
I don't know. You just gotta
assume they figured their way out. Figured their way off the island. Yeah, that's a great question. So anyway, yeah, I didn't change my grade. It's still an A+, but I think I did change my my critique as far as it being the best of the indie films. No, I do think Last Crusade is the best. Not just my favorite, but the best.
Yeah. Back in Washington, D.C., the United States government rewards Jones for securing the Ark. And despite Jones' insistence, the agents state that the Ark has been moved to an undisclosed location for top men to study. Top men. In a vast warehouse, the Ark is crated up and stored among countless other crates.
I will say this, though. This movie probably does have the most iconic / funny scene of all 5 indie films. Do you know which scene I'm talking about?
No.
The giant swordsman. He's face to face with the giant swordsman.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, and that was improvised, they say.
Really?
So, yeah.
They say.
Yeah, it's in the fun facts, but I knew that I've known that fact for like 20 years. Like that's one of the well-known trivia facts about Raiders is that was improvised.
Well known amongst
the nerds. Yeah. But yeah, he just pulls out his gun and shoots somebody and right after he does it, you're thinking to yourself, why did he just fight the other dozen guys? Why did he just do that with everybody?
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah. So good stuff.
It's for the movie.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So you want to get into fun facts?
Yeah.
We had a lot. So, but we're doing pretty good on time, and we don't have to read all of them, but they're all pretty good. I scoured through them and took out about like almost half of them.
Okay.
But I left some pretty important ones.
You want to start it off?
Yeah.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Ready? Fun facts. Okay. Sorry. All right. So the famous There we go. We're here. The famous scene in which Indy shoots a marauding and flamboyant swordsman was not in the original script. Harrison Ford was supposed to use his whip to get the sword out of his attacker's hand, but the food poisoning he and the rest of the crew had gotten made him too sick to perform the stunt. After several unsuccessful tries, Ford suggested shooting the sucker. Steven Spielberg immediately took him up on his idea, and the scene was successfully filmed. Yeah, love it. When Brody first goes to Indy's house to discuss the mission, Jones is dressed the way he is, who's in a bathrobe, I believe, because he is entertaining a young woman in his bedroom.
What?
Yes, the script originally planned to show her before moving to the next scene to give Indy a more worldly persona like James Bond. However, her appearance was cut as Steven Spielberg thought that being a playboy did not fit Indy's
I
character.
thought he was in a suit.
No, not when Brody comes to his house and he's packing. He's like in like a bathroom.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure he is. Yeah, he is. So this also helps explain why several of the co-eds fawn over at Jones and why one girl wrote "Love You" on her eyelids. Yeah. The Well of Souls scene required 7,000 snakes. The only venomous snakes were the cobras, but one crew member was bitten on set by a python. And then I kind of moved this around, so this fact was right after that one. So while filming the snake scene inside the Well of Souls, a python bit first assistant director David Tomlin's hand and wouldn't let go. Tomlin calmly asked someone to grab the python, still attached to his hand, by the tail and whip it so that the snap would send a wave up the snake's body and force it to let go. A stagehand did just that, and the python indeed released its bite from Tomlin's hand, and then he got medical attention. The python was not injured.
Oh, thank God.
The out of control airplane, actually, that was on the runway. He has a big fight scene with the big German. Yeah. It actually ran over Harrison Ford's knee, the airplane wheel, tearing a ligament in his left leg. Luckily for him, though, the heat had turned the rubber tires soft, so it did not crush the bone. Rather than submit to the Tunisian healthcare, Ford had his knee wrapped in ice and carried on. Steven Spielberg has said that he considers it the most perfect film of the series. He never wanted to modify it or change anything about it. And I love you, Spielberg, but I think I already came to the conclusion on this podcast that Last Crusade is actually the most perfect of all the Indy films.
It's okay. He'll debate us in the comments. So.
As we've mentioned before, Spielberg.
He's a big fan.
He's a big fan. He watches this. So when you see like the, 90 something to 150 something, viewers, he's always one of them.
Right.
Just
assume.
Just so you know. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I can't do it with your laugh. During filming in Tunisia, nearly everyone in the cast and crew got sick except for Steven Spielberg. It is thought that he avoided illness by eating only the food he'd brought with him, a lot of cans of SpaghettiOs. I guess Tunisia didn't have great food.
Well, it was probably just one incident.
Yeah. Traditionally, when one of his films is about to open, George Lucas goes on a vacation to get away from all the hoopla.
This is a good one. And this one, again, the nerds have known this for a long time.
I'm pretty sure this was on the trivia for A New Hope.
Probably.
As Star Wars Episode 4, I can't remember Roman numerals.
The original Star Wars,
Yeah.
It's 4. Yeah.
That's why I was like, I had to think in my head of which one.
That's okay. They don't teach you guys that anymore, or cursive, so.
No, but Mom would tell me cursive.
Oh, okay. Cool.
A New Hope was just about to open. Lucas went to Hawaii where he was joined by Steven Spielberg. When the grosses for Lucas's film came in and it was clear it was going to be a hit, Lucas relaxed and was able to discuss other topics with his friend. It was at this point that Spielberg confessed he always wanted to direct a James Bond film, to which Lucas replied he had a much better idea, an adventure movie called Raiders of the Lost Ark. The conversation happened while the two were making a sandcastle. After their trip, they got together and developed the script with Lauren Kasdan.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was on the trivia for A New Hope.
It's good. It's a good one. I love that. It's a great fact.
Indiana Jones's hat came from the famous Herbert Johnson hat shop in Savile Row, London. Yeah. The hat was the shop's poet model. On the bonus features DVD, costume designer Deborah Nadoolman said that in order to properly age the hat, she grabbed and twisted the hat. Then she and Harrison Ford both sat in it, and it eventually looked like a very lived-in and well-loved hat.
Hold on.
Do we really? Oh.
Looks better on you.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
This was from your party, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, my dad's 50th birthday party was Indiana Jones themed.
That's why I have all these relics, not because I like worship them or pray to them. This is not a shrine. I just have them left over from the party. But
I feel like a Shania Twain or something.
You look great.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Producers limited on-screen blood from gunshots during the truck chase by using fine red dust instead of liquid fake blood. Unfortunately, the only red dust available for the squibs was cayenne pepper, which caused a lot of suffering for the stunt crew. Oh, speaking of stunt crew, is that back in there? The one that you told me during the
Yeah, you know, but I got it wrong. It's the guy that was driving the car while he's under there.
Oh.
He's not the stuntman. He is one of the stuntmen, but he's not the stuntman that does the stunt.
Gotcha.
When Indy first gets into the truck and kicks the driver out, that's the stuntman that actually did the stunt where he goes under the truck. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got that confused. I knew it was one of those dudes.
Drivers,
I just got confused. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg and Melissa Matheson wrote a script during shooting breaks on the location of this film. Matheson was there to visit her husband, Harrison Ford, and Spielberg dictated to her a story idea he had. That script was eventually called E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Wait, Harrison Ford is married?
He was a couple times.
Oh.
And now he's with Melissa Flockhart, I think her name is.
Who's that?
I think she was on a hit TV show called Ally McBeal. I'm pretty sure that's the one. So she's kind of famous from that TV show. And she hasn't really done much since. But she's his boo.
I thought you were going to say his muse. I was like, no.
The models used for the German U-boat were rented from the production company that was making Das Boot, another 1981 film, in the same area at the time. The company, however, had forgotten to tell the crew of Das Boot, who were surprised to find the models suddenly missing.
Did you have to read it like that?
Like what? Das Boot?
Das Boot. You know, boot is an English word, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. In 1999, Raiders of the Lost Ark was added to the National Film Registry by the United States Library of Congress. It is the only Indiana Jones film to have been inducted. Films are chosen for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Most of the body blow sounds were created by hitting a pile of leather jackets with a baseball bat. That's cool. I like that. That's why I left that in there. Harrison Ford actually outran the boulder in the opening sequence because the scene was shot twice from 5 different angles. He had to outrun it 10 times. Wow. Ford's stumble in the scene was deemed to look authentic and was left in. It's great. I love it. It's just great from the get-go. It kind of shows you he's you know, he's not perfect, you know.
Yeah.
He's genuine. He's real. Indiana Jones's kangaroo hide bullwhip was sold in December 1999 at Christie's auction house in London for $43,000. That's it. That's so cheap for that bullwhip. Seriously.
Cheap.
I bet you it's in the millions now.
Probably.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I'm such an indie fan. If I were rich, I'd pay $1 million for that, but no problem. And I'm sure
That's ridiculous. I would never pay for a whip. You can buy a replica.
No, I mean, honestly, if I was rich, I probably would spend my money on charity, not $1 million whip. I'd probably give it to poor people, but.
What about you, Ned? What are you going to do with your share?
That's perfect.
I'm going to open an orphanage. Oh, yeah. I was going to do that too, and then get the car.
And then get the big shiny car.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Nice. High five. That was good.
That was a good reference.
Yeah. So his jacket and hat are on display at the Smithsonian. John Williams, the GOAT. We should have mentioned him in the beginning. He does
the music.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. We love him.
John Williams had actually written 2 themes for the film. He played them both for Steven Spielberg on the piano, and Spielberg loved them so much. He suggested that Williams use both of them. He did, and the result was the famous Raiders March, performed by the London Symphony Orchestra, who did not perform in any more Indiana Jones films. The march has become one of the most popular themes of all time. Is that the da-da-da-da-da-da?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I used to play in the playground and you used to like sing the theme as I was like playing, and it was like was like ropes, and I had to like balance on them. But I
Yeah.
thought it was so cool.
And I think I might have mentioned this once before on the podcast, but back then I had a man cave. It was our old house, and I had the whole
Another man cave.
yeah, I had one. Well, this is just a guest room with my man cave stuff hung up. I had an actual man cave in that house. We actually use our garage now. And now we have a 2-car garage, and we actually use it. But back then it was just a 1-car garage, and I converted the whole thing to a man cave. And I had 6 cardboard cutouts, life-size cardboard cutouts, and I would hold you in my arms. You're 2 years old, and I'd walk you to each one of them and have you do something for each. I'd go over to the Batman one, the Christian Bale Batman one, and you would say, "I'm Batman." And I walk over to the Hulk one, and I'd say,
Hulk smash.
"Correct." And then I go to the Indie one, and you would go,
Dun, 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 dun.
and then I go to the Chewbacca one, and you go,
I can't.
"Oh, I can't do it anymore. Hold on, is my drink gone?" And I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to do it really well.
I can only do it with water in my mouth.
And you would just go, "Ah."
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'd go to the Iron Man one, and what would you say? I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm leaving one out.
Indy, Chewbacca, Iron Man, Batman,
Hulk.
Hulk.
Maybe it was just the 5.
Maybe.
Yeah. So.
But
Anyway, yeah, good times. And now she's driving, guys. Now she's driving.
Yeah.
Ah.
Although the Nazis speak German in many scenes, most of the lines were dubbed for the German versions of the film because the actors spoke very bad German with a very strong American accent. Some lines were simply wrong. On the recent DVD release, no German lines are wrong. The majority of German lines seems to be spoken by native German speakers with a slight South German accent. But I didn't know. I thought, why wouldn't they just hire real Germans? Like,
I don't know. And one thing I don't think would go over too well today, the scene in Nepal when there's like a bunch of the Nepali, I don't know how you say Napoleon ice cream. Sorry, Nepalese henchmen. It's like clearly a Caucasian with like makeup going across his eyes to make it look like it's slanted or whatever. Or
really?
Yeah, it doesn't sit well. It's like, oh boy,
not gonna fly.
Yeah, that would not fly today
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
But the sacred idol of Jovitos, of which Dr. Jones takes possession at the beginning of the film, is apparently a fertility goddess. No, we don't have to show it again. It's a molten image of a woman squatting down and giving birth.
Yeah, there's a baby sticking out. Yep. Cool.
So weird.
Yes. Too bad the Jovitos don't know you like I do, but like, you could tell them if you spoke at the Jovitan.
It's still my turn. During the Well of Souls scene, snake handler Stephen Edge served as the double for Marion's legs. According to Edge, Karen Allen's stunt double refused to stand in amongst the snakes. Steven Spielberg offered him the chance by asking if he was willing to shave his legs and put on a dress. For the scene in which Indy is face-to-face with a hooded cobra, Edge says snake handlers induced the cobra to hood with a toy rabbit held just out of frame. Edge noted that unlike Indiana, Harrison Ford is not afraid of snakes. Okay. Right. Or so he says.
Some people aren't scared of them. I mean, I used to have a friend that had a big pet snake. It was like a python that was huge. It was like, I mean, this thing was huge. It was like probably 12 feet at least. Maybe.
12 feet?
Yeah.
You know how long 12 feet is?
Yeah. No, he had the tank was longer than a full-size couch. And it was like behind his couch. And it was like huge. And the thing was like, wrapped. Yeah. It was huge.
Like think of like.
Yeah, like think about our long full-size couch. And like it was longer than that. The tank.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an expensive pet.
I don't know if he still has it, but this was 20 years ago. But yeah, longer actually. Yeah, but anyway, he at one point like he would feed it just chickens he bought in the store. He would just get like a whole chicken and run it under hot water so it was warm, and then like drop it in there.
Like raw chicken?
Yeah.
Isn't it like bad for you?
They eat raw live animals.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not human. Yeah. But yeah, I held it once. I mean, like, I didn't like hold the whole thing. I held it in my hands. Like, if someone's pet snake, someone's like, hold my snake, and I know it's not dangerous. Like, I don't care. I'm not that
I
scared. I'm
remember,
not
like-
that scared of snakes. And like when we had a pit viper in the backyard, and like I ran out there, scooped up our 2 chihuahuas before they got bit, ran them in the house, and I went back out and killed it. So
Yeah.
I mean, but like I'm certainly like cautious of snakes.
But I remember I feel
I
like
don't care for them.
most people my age had like
Yeah.
this guy come to your school at some point.
Mm.
And like I feel like everybody at some point in their life had like the snake around your neck, and like
Yeah,
did you ever get to do that in school?
I probably did.
Almost every year we had this like nature guy come to our school, and you got to like I remember having like the snake around your neck and like all around your arms, and you're like you just hold still while like someone takes a picture and then he takes it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this one's going to go over an hour. We've been keeping them under an hour lately, but this is indie, so you know what?
We'll make an exception.
Yeah. So
Well, let's not go too long. Let's
no.
just go
We're not
little
going
bit more.
to. Yeah, just a little bit more. I agree. Let's skip this one. Despite having the dream team of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg behind the film, it was initially turned down by every studio in Hollywood. Only after much persuasion did Paramount agree to do it. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas disagreed on the character of Indiana Jones. Although Lucas saw him as a 007-like playboy, Spielberg and Lawrence Kasdan felt the character's academic and adventurer elements made him complex enough. Spielberg,
I agree. I don't
I
think
agree
he should
too.
have been like a playboy.
No, definitely not. Spielberg had a darker vision of Jones, interpreting him as an alcoholic, similar to Humphrey Bogart's character Fred C. Dobbs in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. This characterization fell away during the later drafts, though elements survive, especially when Jones's response to Marion's death.
Like drinking,
he's getting drunk. This was 1981's biggest grossing film by a wide margin.
That makes sense.
This was interesting. In fact, it made me so interesting. I looked up the movie to see where I could watch it. Costume designer Deborah Nadelman based Indy's outfit, flying jacket, and fedora on Charlton Heston's and Secret of the Incas from 1954. In that film, Heston played a treasure hunting adventurer who, after studying an ancient model map room, used a beam of sunlight reflected off a crystal to pinpoint the location of the treasure. That sounds familiar. In that film, Heston also flies a hijacked airplane and goes down a river in an inflatable yellow raft, reminiscent of events in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Boy, they really did borrow from that. And I use the word borrow very nicely. Steal from that. Only Indiana Jones, the only Indiana Jones film to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Yeah. George Lucas first dreamed up the idea of an adventurous archaeologist about the same time he came up with the idea for the Flash Gordon type space story that became Star Wars. Part of the reason that George Lucas was originally against using Harrison Ford was that he had noted how his film colleague and close friend Martin Scorsese had earned a reputation for casting Robert De Niro in most of his movies and didn't want Ford to become known as what he called my Bobby. You want to read a couple more and then we'll wrap it up?
The instructions for the construction of the Ark are found in Exodus 25:10. The clothing that Belloc wears while acting as a high priest during a ceremony at the end is found at the beginning of chapter 28 of Exodus.
Yep.
So I guess it was all biblically accurate.
It is, yeah.
Indiana Jones' name comes from the name of Marshall Lucas's dog and is a play on Steve McQueen's eponymous character name in Nevada Smith. Indiana the dog, who was a Malamute.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a little shameless plug of my graphic novel, Benaiah. I actually had I've read the Bible numerous times over, but I actually had to study that as well to draw the inside of the temple and get the colors right of the curtains and the outside of the temple and the, not the ark, but the, anyway, but yeah. So, definitely there's a lot of detail in the Bible about, the ark, the temple where it was held, the outfit that the priest had to wear. And it's a lot of detail.
Several reviewers noted that the film's PG rating, meaning any child could see it, unsupervised, was too lenient for such a scary film with a variety of on-screen deaths. An intermediate rating between PG and R, PG-13, would not be introduced until 1984. In a part a response to the violence of the Indiana Jones sequel, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 1984, some children were reported to have suffered nightmares afterwards. So, is Temple of Doom PG-13?
It is not. It's PG because that Temple of Doom was the main cause. That and kind of Gremlins, but especially Temple of Doom was the main reason they finally came up with PG-13.
It's like really scary in my opinion, like for a kid.
It's easily an R movie.
Yeah,
especially back then.
No, R.
Well, I mean, especially back then before there was a PG-13.
PG-13.
Yeah, that was definitely. It's closer to an R than a PG in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's why it's PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just see anything else.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. So thanks, guys, for watching. We want to tell them what movie we're doing next week?
Yes. So we've been doing a lot of serious movies, and we said, hey, let's switch it up because we both love a good comedy. And this is one of our favorites. We have both seen it before, but we love it so much we wanted to review it. So we are going to be doing Spaceballs, which is basically a parody to Star Wars, but it's just so good. I mean, it just does it so well. So we're excited to review it, and that'll be coming up in 2 weeks.
Fooled you.
Yeah. Would I lie? It's really good.
Very quotable.
It's so good. We do quote it all the time because it's just But yeah, we're excited for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, awesome.
This has been Rewind Our Next podcast with Matt and Allie.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Allie.
God bless.